have a question for you. Are you mislabeling some of your greatest attributes and strengths as faults? This was a question that I asked earlier this week on social media, but because it's very close to my heart, I wanted to talk about it as well on video this week. I know this is not necessarily book related, but it does have to do with how you perform at your work. And so this has been influencing how I see myself and my writing and how I have proceeded through my writing journey as an author, as a sci-fi and fantasy author. For most of my adult life, I have been frustrated with the fact that I love to try new things to the point where I feel like I can't focus on anything. I will engage and disengage really quickly. I want to try all this new stuff. I start reading a story and then I read about 6 different other stories in the process of going through reading the first story, and I write the same way. I tend not to be able to work linearly through one thing. I have to have multiple things going on all at the same time and eventually finish all of them, but not in the sort of time frame that would make you feel like you're being productive, right? Sometimes I have, okay, I'm gonna get hard with myself and I'm gonna make this work. And so I, set myself these little deadlines and everything, and I focus very narrowly on what I'm doing. And what ends up happening is, because there's still all that, you want to try this and you want to try that and you want to experience all that life has to offer, and it's not only distracting from focusing, but I can't focus. It feels hollow, and it feels like even if I've accomplished something and I've gotten something done, like I had to suck out my soul to do it. You can't do the opposite either, because then you get nothing done, right? You can't just follow every little whim and flight of fancy and whatever, because you will never produce. So how do you deal with that, right? And it's been in the last year, as I've gotten more and more frustrated with this constant conflict in my mind and this constant battle for my attention, that I've realized, you know what, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Maybe I'm fighting the wrong battle. I'm trying so hard to stay focused. Maybe I should take a look at what I am labeling as a fault and see if maybe it could work for me instead. When I started looking at what I preferred to do, I realized I'm not actually flighty and flighty and distracted and unfocused. I am intrigued by life. I am fascinated by all that the world has to offer. I want to experience new things, and when I do those things, it actually makes me a better writer in the long run, because I have all these experiences that I've kind of dipped my fingers into at one time or another that I can pull into my stories in little ways, and it makes my writing richer for that. So I started working with who I am instead of fighting who I am, and finding a balance between the need to get stuff done and be responsible and the need to experience life. And it's so funny because I described this situation to my dragon, my husband, and he was like, well, yeah, that's totally you. You are trying to force yourself to have coffee black, but you want to try all the coffees and all the drinks, and you know what that's called, right? I'm like, no, what? He goes, that's called wanderlust. You just love life. I'm like, duh, why didn't I ask him this about a year ago when I was asking this question? You would think that, somebody who knows me so well might have an answer for me, but I think I also had to wrestle through that. So what I am encouraging you to do today is, as you're taking stock of 2019 and you're thinking about the things that are most frustrating to you about yourself, take a look at whether they're actually faults or whether they might be strengths that you have mislabeled as faults, and that you can find a balance working with those things and you'll be happier for it. So drop me a line in the comments below and let me know what you think is your fault and what you think might be a better way to approach that fault, if it even is one, right, in 2020. I'd love to hear from you.